Well, ladies and gentlemen, you will own nothing and be happy.
Today, there is no funny intro, because today, lines have been crossed. Your rights as a customer, the respect that companies had for you, or at least pretended to have for you, are being challenged. Because today, PlayStation and a lot of the industry has gone full mask off. The headline is simple. Starting January 2028, PlayStation will no longer make physical copies of their games. There will not be any more discs. They're done. The all-digital future is here. The one where they get to control the entirety of the end-to-end experience and strip you of all sense of ownership.
PlayStation just announced that they will not be selling physical discs after 2028. So the only way you can purchase PlayStation games after the year of 2028 is through digitally. You will own nothing, and you will be happy.
Before you buy or rent Obsession Online, please can I show you something? To rent this movie, it is $20. To own it digitally, it is $24.99, which means you don't really own it because the terms say they can take it away at any point in time. When you could actually buy the Obsession Blu-ray physical copy, plus they give you the digital code. They give you a code that you can put into any of your streaming apps and you can watch it on the go, put on your phone, put on your iPad, put on your TV. They're giving you the digital copy for free with the physical copy for only $22. And if you want the collector's edition, it's $32. It comes with the 4K disc, the Blu-ray disc, and the digital code that you can put into any app anytime. So why would, this is a scam.
See this? This is what Sony's trying to get rid of. They don't want you to be able to do this anymore. This is why it is so imperative to speak out against this corruption and speak out against this bullshit. Look at this. Got all my PS3 games. All my PS3 games. Look at this. Look at the beauty of physical media. Look at that. PS4 games. All my PS4 games. This is what they're trying to destroy. This is what they're trying to erase. This is not only a fuck you to you, the gamer. This is a fuck you to game preservation. This is a fuck you to game developers that pour their heart and soul, 4 or 5 year development cycle, to show nothing. For the project that you worked so hard on to be erased from history as if it never fucking existed. This is what Sony is trying to get rid of. They're trying to get rid of this. They're trying to get rid of this. This is what they're trying to get rid of. This is amazing. Having physical media is a godsend. Don't let them get away with this. Share this fucking video. Repost it to the heavens. I dropped Dying Light. But yeah, this is crazy, bro. Like, this cannot go on. They're trying to get rid of this. This is one of the biggest reasons why I'm proud to be a gamer. Because of shit like this. Shit like this. I love physical media. Don't let it die out.
If there's no disc, it should be cheaper. If the game is purely digital, it should be cheaper. If they do not have to pay to manufacture and distribute discs, physical discs, it should be cheaper. A digital game should always be cheaper than a physical counterpart because the distribution of that game is significantly cheaper. Considering the amount of microtransactions that we all know is going to be in this game, and the sheer amount of money that GTA 5 brought in on an annual basis, we all know for damn well they are going to make up however much money they invested in developing this game, and then some. So there was already very little reason for this game to be $80 fucking dollars. But knowing that the game is purely digital, knowing that there is no physical disc that you can purchase, knowing that they cut their production costs significantly by doing that, it should be cheaper. It should be cheaper. There's no reason this game should be $80 at this point. There's no justification for this. This is just pure greed.
You don't own anything. You are paying for a ticket that gives you access for a set amount of time, depending on the companies or depending on the licensing.
You will own nothing, and you will like it.
Money. Let's talk about it. Here's Astrobot on Amazon versus the PlayStation storefront, a $20 difference. Here's God of War Ragnarok, $70 on PSN versus $32 on Amazon. It's all about getting more money out of you. Digital-only games, it's almost not even about ownership at a certain point. It's that someone can hop into my account and take my entire library like that.
This If they're going this way, this is the generation I personally believe should have a disk drive and be backwards compatible with every single thing. If they truly are leaving, which I don't know if they are, because there's huge backlash going on online right now. People are talking about boycotts and everything. So if they truly do, this last one from both of them better have a disc option and be backwards compatible all the way back to the first one. That would make it worth it for every gamer out there. It is what it is. We'll see what happens in the next few months. Maybe we, the people, can stop it. Maybe they will continue to put things on discs.
I just thought that this was a crazy synchronicity, crazy synchronicity. But 3 hours ago, Side Scrollers posted their video on the whole, what's the name of this video? It's the end of an era for PlayStation. And it's just so nuts. This is Cray. She's a creator. I'm actually gonna put her videos in this video. But this is originally what I was filming earlier today. I was gonna show her video because I like her take on the whole physical media thing. So honestly, I'm just gonna let the video play. But this was such an insane synchronicity to happen that it made me want to actually make the video. Because originally I was not gonna film the video because I just felt like there's just a lot of disingenuous conversations around a lot of things in gaming right now, especially when it comes to GTA 6. But I wanted to talk about physical media being someone younger. I'm 25, so I would think the large majority of gamers, especially in my age bracket, would understand, because we were kind of coming up on the tail end of physical and digital. And to me, physical media is just dope. I miss my collection of like PS1 and PS2 games that I had like stacked to the ceiling on top of my dresser. But anyway, so I seen this and it made me say I have to finish this video. I have to speak my mind because it's stirring up in my mind and I have to get it out. I have to definitely get it out. I mean, we knew this day was coming. The generations older than myself knew this day was coming. Maybe some of them feared it more than me. Alright, I'm kidding. Let me be real for this video. It's a wild state we're in. I'm gonna try to stay on topic about the principle of being an owner, or like the principles of ownership, and you know what I wish from corporations were upheld. You know, the consumer rights were upheld, or you know, just there's so many aspects I want to get into because it feels like this wasn't a shock. I mean, if you're able to kind of thumbtack and thread, you could, over the years, you can kind of see the pattern of all of this happening. And what's wild is just the timing of everything. And my own little headcanon is that CERN's shutdown has to do with something. Come on. That'll be a members only video. But it's just odd timing with a lot of things right now. You know, Sony redacting everybody's movies, GTA 6, locking content behind a $100 version, seeing the divide between the heavy divide between people. It's funny, you know, I really didn't want to have to make that video about GTA, but it gets to a point where, you know, just, I don't know, the integrity of being is challenged to a degree where you know this affects people who, you know, are not going to take the stance, or maybe they don't, I don't know, like maybe they don't have a voice, they don't understand why it's important to vote with your wallet, and sometimes you just got to make that video. You got to be the person to make the video. Granted, there are so many other people doing it. I hope more come up and make videos. There was a comment I got on my GTA video of a guy saying, you know, there's probably going to be a video coming from him or her soon, most likely. I said, great, I'll watch it when it's out. Because the thing is the power is in the hands of the people. And that's what I want to keep this video based on. When it comes to physical media, I would say, like being fully transparent, I've been a PC gamer for a while now. You know, I built and modified my own computer like back around 2014. So let's see, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Say hi, 26. But like 13, 14. You know, so there's just been so many years, like 10 plus years, where I've been buying mostly digital. And I definitely think that it's convenient, you know, but do I miss when I had a stack of PlayStation games, a stack of Xbox games, physically looking at the cover? And I know maybe if you haven't heard any other creators' perspective, I miss the physical maps that used to come with certain games too. GTA had a map, Skyrim had a map. Skyrim was like the biggest game for me. I'm big on dragons. I was born in the year of the dragon. I love dragons. I probably have a dragon spirit, to be honest. Born in the year of the dragon. No coincidences personally to me in life. And it's just, when Skyrim came out, it was cool to see the map, like having that map. Can't even really remember what it looks like, but I could probably pull up a picture. And it's just weird having the cover in certain games that came with the, you know, the little booklet in there, and the art of just the everyone involved in the game, whether it's concept artists or whoever it is making the visual designs of the case and just everything, and the like paper that goes in the case. It meant something, right? And that feeling of like going to school and asking a friend or something, can you borrow a game, or you trade games, and there was a community behind it. And I feel like with more of a push to the digital age, we're getting isolated more. There's really going to be this timeline split between organic and inorganic stuff. You're going to have the people that are fucking walking around wearing metaverse glasses 25/8. And then you're going to have the people who prefer the more natural experience, organic, out in nature. It's an interesting divide that I see happening. It's interesting. And I feel like this physical media thing has part to play with it. But there was a guy on Side Scrollers, I don't remember his name, who made a really great point about everything. And this is actually why I'm making my video, and maybe I inspire the right person, because personally, to me in my life, I feel like I don't have it's not will, but there's something in my heart that just can't expend the brain capacity to deal with like the culture war and everything that happens in gaming. I mean, and that's a whole nother discussion outside of physical media when it comes to like the disingenuous bad faith arguments, ad hominem attacks when it comes to God of War LaFay and Stellar Blade and GTA. And I just, you know, how people just do things for clicks. Funny coming from a content creator, but it's just like, to me, there's a certain amount of integrity to this. I know if I say integrity and, you know, just being on YouTube authentically, or trying to show up on social media as authentically as possible, there are probably images of people that pop up in your mind. Hopefully me. But, you know, I think of Markiplier. I think of Corey Kenshin. You know, I think of certain creators that you can think of that feels like they didn't really sacrifice much. And to me, that's what this whole physical media ties back into the consumer. And the corporations are going to do what they're going to do. They're going to try to squeeze you for every last cent you have. But it's a wake-up call, and they're holding the mirror to you. I feel like this is happening for a reason. And now is the time. Jumping back to what I was going to say about the side scroller guy, he mentioned how, you know, everything looks, you know, kind of like shit right now. But there's never been a better time to stand out. And like the Stop Killing Games initiative, that whole thing, just, you know, if you feel like you're someone who has the resources to do something like it, do it. You know, I'm not out here championing getting online and doing it, because I'm not one of the guys that dives into the statistics and the screenshots and pulls all that. I honestly don't want to be that chronically involved, or chronically online and involved. But to me, The people who do that are awesome. I love seeing receipts and videos, just pulling up the stats, pulling up. It's cool. It's funny. It's like wow, this person is passionate on a different level. For me, I'm more passionate about the games. I love getting a DM or an email from an indie dev that's like, "Hey, can we use your reaction in our video promoting marketing?" I love it because I like the art. I like seeing interesting games. I like diving into the story and the philosophy of games. I'm not really on the analytics and where the industry is going, even like the technological advancements. And when I see it, I'm like, cool, FPS, this, cool. I'm more, it's funny because I could play like, the retro horror games, like puppet combo games like that. I like the retro style of things. I've actually been doing a little bit of like, not, I can't, can I call it art? To me, it's art. Like GIF art with like retro models and pixel models and stuff, and just with GIFs that you can find on Instagram. It's a little bit of fun because I like that retro feel, that throwback feel, you know. And I guarantee, like the Gen Xers, I hate these terms, the older generations feel that. But I've always been called an old soul, so I'm not really surprised that I kind of like the more, what would we call it, analog style of things, the more just like early stage. And it's a weird place. I think the easiest thing I can say is you should not be, do what you want. You're grown. If you're watching this video, you probably have autonomy over your own life, right? But you should not be rooting for these companies to do stuff like this. Like there was a point in time where you bought, because digital was easily accessible, it was cheaper than the physical copy, right? That flipped. And what's crazy is there's a statistic that I think they pulled up on Side Scrollers and a couple other YouTubers, maybe many of them, I don't say a couple, only the couple that I perceived, right? On like Charlie from Penguin Zero, Critical. I think he pulled up in his video. I seen a clip of Asmongold watching him talk about it. Asmongold had an interesting take as well. But anyways, so going back to that take, to what he pulled up a screenshot or something of showing you that now you can purchase the physical copy for certain PlayStation games at like $34, when in the PlayStation store the actual game is $70. And see, and that's the thing with digital, and I think he made this point too, is they don't ever have to change that price. I think it's still crazy to me that sometimes buying Skyrim, I think Skyrim on the Nintendo Switch too, I may be wrong. I was just looking at the Switch because, again, I'm going to come back to Nintendo in a second. I seen Skyrim for like, I think like $60 still. Might be wrong. It might be 40. So, correct me. It's perfectly fine if I'm wrong. I don't care about being wrong. But either way, it's just wild to see certain games that are like years old, like I was playing as a kid, still fucking, priced like a new gen game. It's crazy. But yeah, to me, let me grab my water real quickly. To me, this isn't a conversation of like, because I've heard some takes of the other side. And don't worry, I can see it from the other side too, of like the corporations. But to me, when I look at what's been happening in every industry and I connect it all together, thumbtack and thread, the consumer, the viewer, the enjoyer of these mediums is getting progressively fucked. From live service games, from this, it pushed me to a point where like I just wanted to stay off the internet from the things I was seeing, because it was like I'm in such a good mental headspace like all the time, and like seeing this stuff was really starting to just get to me and bring me low, because I was like, man, I just really wish people woke up to the power that they have, which is like voting with your wallet and saying, fuck these dudes, man, fuck these corporations. And again, I'm never for taking money out of someone's pocket. The game devs that may be affected when these games are being developed and everything like that, but it's just like somewhere it's got to give. That's how reality works. It's cause and effect. Somewhere has to give for a balance to be achieved. And right now, I think fate hangs in the balance of the consumer, man. The consumers have the numbers. And I say this for anything that works, like boycotts. If everyone was to decide, like for the next week, we're not, and I know this is like a, what do you call it, like a pipe dream, up in the air. Really, we're in dreamland with this one. To boycott McDonald's for the next week, imagine what that would do. Imagine everyone just decided to shop local, farmers markets, things like that. Not, just it would go nuts. You guys would snap the matrix in half. But that's why I say there's a base level reality here that operates with just people who are just living their life, which, the normies or whatever, which is not really a bad term. It's just the people who don't really involve themselves in this. I bet there's, amongst the normies, there's people who are just going to avoid like God of War and those certain games. They're just going to go, I'm kind of tying everything together here, but they're going to just go with the new God of War. Some are going to avoid it. Some are going to be like, oh, well, that is what it is. We're moving into a new era of gaming. We're going to have to be digital. Every purchase is now tracked permanently, or if it moves into that, they can revoke the game access whenever they want. Like, the timing is so funny. They remove 500 movies because they the licensing agreement is up. Again, remember, I'm kind of calling these points from everything I've been seeing, and 500 movies removed from people's libraries, and it's like, you guys understand it's not going to stop there. And then when you tie it into the whole thinking proper and the group think and the BlackRock Vanguard rabbit hole and all of this controlled behavior stuff, if you say the wrong thing online, or I brought this point up to my girlfriend, and she was like, that's a really good point. But one thing I thought about is, imagine, and again, could be a rare case, but again, you never know, and these could happen. This is just my theory. Imagine you're in a game, and say you're in GTA 6 online, and you're just getting mass reported, or hackers find a way to send mass reports to, I don't know, they AI automate mass reporting or something now, and all of a sudden you get banned from these fake reports, whatever, or something, because you pissed off the wrong dude, who knows. And whatever this system they automate, because God knows these motherfuckers want to automate and price upscale everything, so, and you cut as much cost as possible, that then this automated system fucking bans you permanently, like a deep, I don't know if this is the right term, but like an IP ban or something, where you can't purchase that game online anymore. You're fucked. Like, the possibilities become endless when you don't own the physical copy, and to me, that's the real part of the discussion. Yes, there's the part of owning physical media, having it, the feelings behind it, that, but I've heard certain takes where it's like, you knew this was kind of inevitable, but also agreeing like this is like not the greatest move, but I'm saying, like, it's crazy, dude. You will own nothing and be happy. Like, it's genuinely, you will own nothing and be happy. And that to me is a wild move. It's a wild move, and I don't know, like, and going to the Nintendo point, I've been looking at a Nintendo Switch now, because again, recently, if you heard me in my video, I said I got rid of my gaming computer. Just needed an upgrade. I didn't decide to upgrade it. I was just like, what, maybe I need a period of my life where I step back from gaming and stuff just for now. Just made that decision. But then, right, I was like, I'm kind of looking at the Switch. I have not played any Zelda games, any Mario, any stuff like that. I probably played Mario Kart once, Super Smash Bros. Like once. But there's Splatoon, Skyrim's on the Nintendo Switch too. I've heard it's not that bad. Now you can get a 60 FPS, but the thing that got me with Nintendo, even though that company has all of its stuff I've heard from videos, what was it? They have the physical game. You can buy it. And shoot, all I really need is Minecraft. I need a couple survival games, and I could play them forever. You've seen Minecraft on the channel, but games like Baldur's Gate, all the other games that I like to play, yeah, maybe eventually I get a gaming laptop, because I do a lot of editing, a lot of work from a computer, so maybe a laptop's still a smarter decision before I get a Switch. But the Switch, like, I feel like if Nintendo stays in the game with giving out the physical, the physical case and disc for it, whatever comes with the Switch. I don't know if there's like a disc in the Switch. I've just started doing research, and I think I've only come across a couple people in my life who actually had a Switch, and I've like played one and picked one up, but it's very, very, I have like very vague memories on it. But nonetheless, like, I think the case looks really, really cool. This heat wave is cooking. Whew. But yeah, even in my room right now, man, I might have to close the blinds. But you know, to me, okay, we're still good. To me, the case, having the Nintendo case, is going to be a cool piece of physical media. Like, I like to look, I was looking at the little transparent case. I think some come with the red strip. And I was just thinking about I get a little bit excited and kind of get that childhood feeling back of like having a box of just Nintendo games that are physical. Also, I'll still buy digital because, again, coming from my perspective, I've been PC gaming for 10 plus years now. And Steam is unmatched. And that's actually a point that I think I heard someone talk about. To me, Steam is a dope platform. Like, I mean, the customer service and everything, right there, they have their things, just like everything. There's a balance in reality. But Steam's summer sales, winter sales, I had a Steam account and I don't have it anymore, and I don't know if I'll ever get it back because I just don't have the email. I think I talked to Steam support about it. Maybe I try again one day. But it had 400 plus games. 400. You know damn well I didn't play all of them, but I've played a good amount of games in my life. And I guarantee the Steam library is still untouched. And, I've never looked at the consumer laws when it comes to what you purchase on Steam. I don't know if they have the ability to revoke your games. I'm pretty sure they probably do. Don't know. But I've never seen it happen. So, again, part of it is uncharted waters, but you can really kind of have the thoughts and presume that shit will go south if everything just goes digital. And again, going back to the tracking and everything, I was going to tie in some other stuff, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like going back to what that guy said, because that's a very unique perspective. Not like too unique, but an awesome perspective. Let's say that. It's not too out there that someone couldn't think of it, but I think it's a very awesome perspective that we're in a time where the decision, one of you might have the decision, might even be me. But I wouldn't even know where to start. What would you do to combat or to create something? Not combat. Don't even fight their war and fight against this system trying to charge you. What would you create to, like, stop killing games, to, pull people's awareness strong enough, hard enough, whatever, long enough to be like, I'm going to invest in this because I like what this person's doing, or I like what this group, this entity is trying to create? What do you do? I'm not sure I have the answer. The whole thing for me that comes out of all of this is put your money where your mouth is. Do not invest. Wait, don't fall for FOMO. Respect your self-concept. You are worth more. Seriously, you are worth more. Hear me out. You are worth more. Do not just easily succumb to, I want to play this game though. And then the thing is, do what you're going to do. If you're going to buy GTA, if you're going to do these things, no one can stop you. But if you really want to stand for something, and you see all of these videos of people talking about PlayStation's dead, the PS6 is dead, yes, but let it die. Let it die. Yes, let the ones with tons of money buy it. And close your ears to the ones saying, if you're just broke, say that. Or gaming was accessible. It was you know how accessible it was? Well, that's probably for a members only video, because I want to rant, trust. But I don't have the mental capacity. I want to kind of mess around and rant, but I just don't have the capacity to get into all of the things happening in the industry. And I've been aware of them long before I spoke about them. I just, coming out and speaking about them, you just you land in the field of like grifter, this, that, this, and it's just like I'd rather look out for the individual and don't get played because it's genuinely what's happening. Like, but if the purchase will make you feel good and you require something outside of yourself to make you feel good about like yourself, validate something in you, like the FOMO, whatever, you've got to get this because you don't want to be the only one behind. It's just a mindset that I barely have had in my life, but I don't have anymore. But I understand it. I've seen, individuals around me that just feel like if I get this thing, I'll be good. But truthfully to me, let's throw some psychology in there. You do not need anything outside of yourself to validate yourself. Shoot, I've seen this when I've played the most crappiest games that you can find that are kind of like a game you find on Steam that's just sometimes built to be a shitty game. You're the one putting the fun into it. You're the one putting the meaning into what having this will mean for you. And that's why I make this video too. I feel for the ones who are like, yo, the physical media, the feeling it meant to have those things. Like me, I'm not attached to everything that I had in the past, a stack of games, but oh boy, was it fucking awesome to look at this and be like, I used to take the games back to GameStop, trade them all in, and work up to the newest game that came out because I used to beat games so fast. I'd play them on the hardest difficulties. I remember, oh man, my grandma is in a great place right now, probably looking over me laughing at this point. She always used to say, she used to get frustrated with how fast I would beat the games because I would literally come home after school, pop that sucker in if it was Skyrim or something, be on it, and I would go through it anytime I had free. The weekend, it was funny when I was back in middle school. My peers said it about me. They were like, what does Jerome do after school? Like, yo, he'd be on the game. I see him online all the time. It's like, I was like, damn straight. I love gaming. And this is what gets to me about all of this happening is this is really a point in time where you have to broaden your perspective, and you can't just ride the meat of these corporations. Like, this is genuinely a crazy moment in time. Like, feels historical. Like, it's the digital age where it's like they're really pushing for that, tinfoil hat, but what is it, Agenda 230? I'm pretty sure that's you will own nothing and be happy. But isn't it funny? This is why I say, I don't want my video shadow banned, and I don't think it will. So push this video for me. And the algorithm will push it. I'm putting out the vibes. Is that CERN? CERN shut down until the year 2030. Why is that? That's so interesting. Again, members only video, I'm probably going to rant on that. But I don't know. Anyways, without the tinfoil hat away, I'm going to take the tinfoil hat off, throw it away, be normal. This is about you, the consumer. To me, these corporations are going to do what they want to do at the end of the day, but it's where you invest your money. So it's not really about, oh, we got to fight back and take them down. No. Be you. If something in your heart feels weird about this, do not invest. That's it. It's not about what other thing can we do. But on the note of the other thing we can do, you could build something better if you're that individual. The indie game industry, love it to death. So, just maybe I don't know if indie game developers would even get enough funding to make physical copies. But shoot, I know that all of these like publishing companies and stuff or studios that take on devs can't just be all a part of the agenda of bumping up their games to like 80 and 100. There has to be one out there with enough money that maybe pushes out physical media. They're like, let's do it different. Let's maybe we don't do discs because the manufacturing is crazy, but we do like posters or something like this. You buy Expedition 33, you get a poster, maybe just something where it's like you can hold and have. I don't know if manufacturing posters would be a crazy expense too. But either way, you get what I'm saying. And to me, it's going to come down to this, and I'm going to end with this. This is about you as a being, as a human being, and your rights. And to me, you have the right to ownership. It's the principles behind this. Owning something. Like when you fully pay off a car, or maybe you make phone payments. I've never made payments for a phone. I usually buy it outright, but you own it. You know, like, I don't know if there's a clause somewhere that Apple can come and take it away from you, but it goes back to the physical media. They can't come in your house and take your whole fucking Nintendo crate of cases. Nintendo's on the good list right now because they still have the physical. They didn't make a statement. Hopefully it doesn't go under the radar, and then they come out next week and say it. That would be some crazy shit. But, you know, PlayStation can't come and get all the PS4s that exist out there and all that. You guys own those. And all the cases and everything, and the YouTubers with crazy walls lined with physical media. Jers. But now, just like Cray did in her video, you're probably just sticking big middle fingers up to the PlayStation. Either way, we're in an interesting era, and I think it comes down to the person, the individual. This is a time where you really need to respect yourself, because these companies are showing their greed and that they don't give a shit. It's about your pockets, so care about yourself. To me, it comes down to caring about yourself enough to fight the urges, you know, let the urge pass. Don't feel the FOMO. It's just games. You know, don't let anything outside of yourself have so much of a control over you that you just can't. Fuck the industry until it gets back to balance. And there's a lot of good happening. I see a lot of good. I don't want to just focus on the negative, and that's also why I won't get into the culture war, because I don't want to. Again, where attention goes, energy flows, and I don't want to put so much awareness on this crumbling, this. I like to react to cool games on my channel, and the reaction is like indie developers messaging me, or just like the passion part. I just like to see the art. And I think if we put our focus back into the art and we take it away from the shit that flops, and this is more kind of talking to the creator side of things, where content creators just, and this will never happen because, you know, drama and those things sell and clicks, but stop putting our attention to the movies that flop. Maybe make one video, don't milk it, and then just, you know, but that's a different discussion, because I do feel like that gets too inflated on the platform too, you know. You know, if the Harry Potter comes out with the new Black Snape and everything, and it ends up being bad, do your criticism video, try to be as respectful as possible, move on. Don't milk the fuck out of it. You can do it every episode and a season as a whole review, but, you know, don't drag it through the mud. Make your videos and move on, you know, because the more attention and awareness given to this stuff, I feel like it's also feeding into the agenda they want. They want you to be mad. They want you to be upset, you know, about all of this. I feel, and that's low-key one of my own little headcanons about this. I kind of feel like Sony is doing this on purpose. It feels like a weird move, but it feels too, maybe it's not strategic. Maybe they just literally don't care to show their hand anymore. But it's like, imagine, what would be a reason that they would do this and be so, 500 movies gone, no physical disc for GTA. Why would people in the industry do this? Is there some sort of other thing to it? I don't know. It makes me think about that. But yeah, that's my, I think, sense on the whole matter. I really don't have the mental capacity to think about this stuff any longer, because it gets annoying, and it gets a bitter taste in my mouth, because it's like, I know you can't wake up everybody. There's going to be still a large majority that invest in the GTA 6. There's going to be a large majority, like, I could have bought, again, I said this in my GTA video, I could have bought Borderlands for like 5 times over in the last one. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. And it's one of the coolest ways, actually, too. But, and I can't bring myself to what the game has become. I'll play it a few years later or something, maybe, you know, but comments from the CEO and stuff, it's like, that guy's talking to y'all, but you're not seeing it like that. And then it's just getting written off sometimes of, oh, it's not that deep. That works in certain circumstances and scenarios, but not everything. That argument, if it's not that deep, bro. No. Anyways, much love, Moonlight. I'm out of here. Be fucking awesome. Be authentically you. And we'll see what is to come, because there is a lot of good. I've seen a lot of good game releases from Summer Games Fest are potentially coming. Again, they're trailers, but I'm going to be talking about those, I think, on the channel. Yeah. Got some other stuff we're working on again. I might disappear again, but yeah. Well, yeah, anyways.